The dark void of space stretched endlessly, dotted with stars that seemed like distant sparks of hope. In the far reaches of a galaxy unknown to most humans, a great prison orbited a dead, gray planet. Its walls were metallic, cold, and unyielding, stretching thousands of kilometers in every direction. Within that fortress, the alien queen, ruler of a peaceful civilization spanning countless star systems, was held captive. She was not just any ruler. She was wise, compassionate, and had spent centuries guiding her people toward knowledge, peace, and unity. And now she was powerless, trapped in a cell designed to suppress her every ability. The Draxians, the rogue faction responsible for her capture, moved with a precision that only true cruelty could breed. Their ships patrolled the edges of the prison, scanning for any sign of escape. They did not understand the Queen's people, nor did they care. To them, she was a tool, a prize whose power could be harvested to dominate other worlds. The Queen, however, was more than a leader. She was a symbol of hope, and her spirit, though confined, was unbroken. Even in her silent cell, she sensed the currents of the galaxy shifting, a disturbance unlike any before. Something or someone was coming. Across the void, in the comfort of Earth, news of the Queen's imprisonment reached the human race in fragments. At first, it seemed impossible. Humans had observed alien civilizations from afar for decades, cataloging their societies, studying their technologies, and debating the ethical boundaries of interference. Most people believed that Earth should remain hidden, that the galaxy was too vast and too dangerous to meddle in. But reports from deep space observatories painted a picture too serious to ignore. The Queen, a figure of wisdom and fairness even to distant humans, had been imprisoned by forces that threatened not just her but the balance of the galaxy. In response, humanity began to stir. Governments held emergency meetings, scientists analyzed alien technologies, and pilots trained for conditions no human had ever faced. Among them were 4 individuals who would become central to the coming mission. The first was Captain Elias Ward, a pilot known for his daring maneuvers and calm under pressure. He had flown countless missions through asteroid fields, war zones, and uncharted sectors of space. Where others saw danger, Elias saw opportunity, and he had the skill to turn a risky plan into a successful operation. The second was Dr. Liana Torres, a xenobiologist whose studies of alien life forms had earned her acclaim. Her mind could decipher patterns and behaviors that others would miss, and her understanding of extraterrestrial physiology would be crucial in a rescue that required more than brute force. The third was Kian Patel, an engineer who had helped design AI systems capable of adapting in real time. Kian's machines were capable of improvisation far beyond what humans had ever achieved, and his talent would allow the human fleet to navigate obstacles no one else could. The fourth was Ambassador Mara Chen, a former astronaut turned diplomat. She had walked on the moon, negotiated tense interstellar treaties, and understood the subtleties of communication that often decided life or death in critical moments. Mara believed that every act of courage could be amplified by empathy, and her insight would guide humanity in this unprecedented mission. In the war room of Earth's orbital command station, the 4 gathered with leaders from multiple nations. Holographic displays projected the Draxian fortress in full detail, energy barriers, drone patrols, and sensor arrays that made conventional approaches impossible. The room buzzed with tension, each human present acutely aware of the stakes. "We have only 72 hours before they begin extracting her mind," said Admiral Hayes, his voice steady but urgent. "If that happens, we lose her, and whatever power they hope to claim will be unleashed upon the galaxy. We need a plan, and we need it now. We need stealth, speed, and precision. Sensors will see what they expect to see, and we can slip through." Teams worked tirelessly, merging human ingenuity with alien intelligence gathered from decades of observation. Ships were equipped with cloaking technologies, energy shields were optimized, and communication systems were encrypted beyond recognition. Every human skill mattered. Every mind contributed. Meanwhile, across the stars, the Queen remained in her cell. She could feel the tremors of intelligence moving toward her, a pattern of thought different from any she had sensed before. It was human, she realized, and something about it made her hope stir. She had spent centuries leading, teaching, and protecting. Never had she imagined that a species so young, so untested in the galactic arena, could rise to answer a call of justice for someone they had never met. Back on Earth, the fleet prepared for departure. Families watched from observation decks, holding their breath as ships lifted off into the void. The world united in quiet anticipation, knowing that humanity's fate, and perhaps the fate of the galaxy, rested on the courage of a few. The media broadcasted images of the pilots, engineers, scientists, and diplomats ready to risk everything. Hope, it seemed, was contagious. The journey to the Draxian prison would not be easy. They had to cross sectors of space controlled by hostile forces, navigate regions of intense radiation, and avoid detection by fleets that outnumbered them in both size and firepower. The human fleet, though advanced, was still vulnerable. But they carried something far more powerful than any weapon: ingenuity, cooperation, and the courage to act when action was needed most. As they approached the outer edges of the Draxian-controlled sectors, Elias piloted the lead ship through an asteroid field, twisting and turning in a dance of precision that few could imagine. Each maneuver was calculated, yet instinctual, guided by a lifetime of experience and a determination to succeed. Behind him, other pilots followed in perfect synchronization, the fleet moving as one living entity, united by a single purpose. Dr. Torres monitored alien lifeforms inhabiting the surrounding asteroids. Though the Queen's enemies had enslaved or killed many, she noted signs of resilience, creatures adapting to survive. She shared her observations with the team, reminding them that intelligence and adaptability were universal traits, not solely human. This reinforced the notion that their mission was more than just a rescue. It was a statement that life, in any form, deserved protection. Kian worked tirelessly in the control room, running algorithms that allowed the ships to anticipate Draxian sensor sweeps. He adjusted parameters in real time, reacting to subtle changes in energy signatures and gravitational fields. His mind moved as quickly as the ships themselves, a silent but essential force guiding their path. Mara kept a calm presence among the team, speaking words of encouragement, reminding them of why they had come. "We are here because we believe in something greater than ourselves," she said. "The Queen's life, the balance of the galaxy, the future of humanity, all of it matters, and we are not alone. We carry the hopes of countless others with us." The Draxians were aware of unusual activity, but their sensors had not yet locked on. Every small misstep could alert them, and every success brought the fleet closer to their goal. Yet, through careful planning and relentless focus, the humans pressed on. The first signs of the fortress appeared, a massive silhouette against the backdrop of a dying star. It was more formidable than any human structure, a monument to alien engineering and power. Energy shields glimmered like 1,000 suns, and patrol drones moved in precise, calculated patterns. But the humans were ready. They had studied every detail, anticipated every possibility, and prepared for challenges that no one else could foresee. In the quiet of his cockpit, Elias felt a flicker of doubt. The odds were against them, the stakes immeasurable, and the consequences of failure unimaginable. Yet he pushed the fear aside, focusing instead on the task at hand. Humanity had come this far not because of luck, but because of determination, intelligence, and the courage to act. Doctor. Torres glanced at the projections of the Queen's cell. The energy suppression field would be difficult to bypass, but she already had ideas, ways to combine human technology with alien biology to create a solution. Kian's AI systems could assist, but the key would be cooperation. Only by working together could they hope to succeed. As the fleet closed in, the first obstacle loomed, a Draxian detection array, pulsing with energy and scanning the depths of space. The fleet slowed, moving in calculated silence. Kian adjusted the AI drones, and Mara guided the team with calm precision. Every ship followed the plan flawlessly, slipping past sensors that had been designed to detect the smallest anomaly. For the first time in centuries, the Queen felt something stir within her. She could sense the minds of these humans, brave, clever, united. They were coming not as conquerors, not as thieves, but as allies. She could not communicate with them directly yet, but hope, fragile yet bright, filled her. The fleet had reached the threshold of the prison's outer defenses. Beyond lay the unknown, the interior of the fortress, the Draxian forces, and the true test of humanity's courage. The mission had only begun, and the challenge was immense. Yet in every heart aboard those ships, there was a spark, a single, unyielding belief. Humans could rise to meet any challenge, even in the vast, indifferent void of space. And somewhere within the fortress, the Queen waited, unaware that help was closer than ever. The countdown had begun. 72 hours, the Admiral had said, but time for the humans and the Queen alike was both ally and enemy. Each second brought them closer to either triumph or disaster. In that moment, as the stars stretched endlessly around them, humanity took its first step toward legend. Earth buzzed with an energy it had never known before. Across continents, humans looked up at the sky with renewed wonder, not just curiosity, but purpose. The news of the alien queen's imprisonment had spread quickly, and for the first time in history, humanity faced a challenge that transcended borders, languages, and political differences. Nations that had spent centuries in disagreement now cooperated with a unity born of urgency. Scientists, engineers, pilots, and diplomats were brought together in a massive effort to save a being from a civilization that many humans had only observed from afar. In the orbital command station above Earth, the human fleet was taking shape. Ships of all sizes, from nimble fighters to massive carriers, moved in precise patterns, guided by AI and human intuition alike. Every detail was scrutinized, every calculation double-checked. The mission to rescue the Queen would require more than courage. It would demand precision, creativity, and relentless determination. Captain Elias Ward stood on the observation deck, watching the fleet with a quiet intensity. He could feel the weight of responsibility pressing down, heavier than the gravity of any planet he had ever walked. "This is unlike anything we've done before," he said, speaking to Dr. Liana Torres, who was beside him. "The Draxians are powerful, they're smart. But they've never faced humans united like this. Our AI systems can mimic their patrol patterns. We can slip past their sensors, hide in plain sight, and reach the Queen without being detected. But we have to stay sharp. One mistake, and it's over. We need to anticipate their psychology, predict how they'll react to unexpected events. Every human decision counts, and every small act can ripple through the fortress. We are not alone in this. The Queen may be able to guide us in ways we can't yet see." People around the globe watched broadcasts showing the fleet's preparation, inspiring hope and unity. Children drew pictures of humans flying among the stars, scientists gave impromptu lectures about teamwork and courage, and ordinary citizens sent messages of encouragement to the crew. Humanity was learning to see itself as a single entity, capable of rising to challenges that had once seemed impossible. The fleet left Earth's orbit at dawn, slipping into the void with the silent determination of a predator moving toward its prey. The journey would take them across sectors controlled by hostile forces, regions of space where navigational errors could be fatal. Asteroid fields, cosmic storms, and rogue satellites all presented threats, but the humans moved with careful precision. Each pilot trusted the others completely, each engineer relied on algorithms that could adapt to almost anything, and each scientist and diplomat provided insights that no machine could replicate. Captain Ward led the formation, his hands steady on the controls, eyes scanning the void for anomalies. "Keep formation tight," he instructed. "We can't afford gaps. Every ship is part of the mission, and we move as one. Remember, our advantage isn't just technology. It's teamwork." The drone passed, unaware of the humans weaving past it like ghosts. Dr. Torres studied the drone's behavior. "It's not just scanning for objects," she said. "It's learning patterns, predicting movements. We have to vary our maneuvers, keep it guessing. Humans can improvise, that's our advantage. They think in terms of control, not cooperation. Every action we take that shows intelligence, foresight, or unpredictability will give us an edge." Captain Ward maneuvered the lead ship with skill honed over years of experience, weaving between the asteroids with a precision that left even the fleet's most seasoned pilots in awe. Behind him, the fleet followed perfectly, each ship responding instantly to minor course adjustments. Kian monitored every movement, his AI systems predicting shifts and relaying commands faster than any human could react. Dr. Torres analyzed the trajectory, ensuring that any life forms present in the asteroids were avoided. Mara maintained communication, guiding the pilots with calm clarity, ensuring the fleet moved as a single entity rather than a collection of independent ships. Hours passed, and the fleet emerged from the asteroid field intact. The first obstacle had been conquered, but the journey was far from over. Ahead lay the Draxian patrol fleets, massive warships designed to detect and destroy intruders. The humans had anticipated this, using their knowledge of Draxian technology to plan a stealth route. They moved slowly, deliberately, keeping their energy signatures low and their communications encrypted. During a brief pause in a shadowed sector of space, Captain Ward addressed the team. "This is the moment where we prove ourselves. not with weapons or firepower, but with unity and intelligence. The Queen is counting on us. The galaxy is counting on us. Let's not fail. Tors smiled, a rare lightness in her expression. We won't. Humans never give up, and neither do we. Remember, every challenge we face, every obstacle is something we are uniquely suited to overcome. Adaptability is our greatest weapon. The patrol ships will scan this sector in predictable intervals. If we time it right, we can pass without detection. It will require perfect coordination, but I believe we can do it. Trust in each other, and we will succeed. The Draxians were powerful, but humans had something far more unpredictable: creativity, courage, and a determination that could not be calculated or contained. Inside the fortress, the Queen sensed a shift. Though confined, she felt the presence of foreign minds moving closer, minds that carried hope and ingenuity. She could not see them clearly, but she could feel their intention, their willingness to act in defense of life, justice, and balance. It was a sensation that stirred something long dormant within her, the knowledge that even in captivity, there were those willing to rise and fight for what was right. Back in the fleet, hours stretched into a tense silence. The humans moved like shadows, dodging patrols, adjusting trajectories, and maintaining constant vigilance. Every success reinforced their confidence, every near miss sharpened their focus. They were united not just by a mission, but by a shared understanding of what it meant to rise to a challenge. As they approached the outskirts of the Draxian fortress, a massive energy barrier came into view, pulsing with light that could fry unshielded ships in seconds. It was the first line of defense, designed to repel any intruder. Captain Ward's hands tightened on the controls, guiding the fleet with careful precision. Dr. Tors studied the barrier's composition. We can't break it. But we can bypass it. There are fluctuations, weak points we can exploit. Timing is everything. If we act at the right moment, we can slip through undetected. Any deviation could trigger alarms. Let us show that we are a force for hope. In that moment, humanity rose as one, not with weapons or aggression, but with courage, ingenuity, and unity. The first stage of the mission was complete. They had crossed hostile space, evaded detection, and proven their ability to act where others would hesitate. The challenge was far from over, but the spark of hope had been lit. And for the first time in centuries, the Queen felt that freedom might not be a distant dream. It could be within reach, thanks to humans who dared to act when it mattered most. The Draxian fortress loomed like a dark monument against the blackness of space, its sharp edges and towering structures radiating a cold, mechanical intelligence. For centuries, no being had dared to enter its walls without permission, and even fewer had left alive. Yet the human fleet moved steadily toward it, their formation precise, their ships gliding like shadows across the void. The fleet had already proven its skill in navigation and stealth, but the true challenge awaited within the fortress itself. Captain Elias Ward guided his lead ship closer to the fortress's outer perimeter. Every sensor on board monitored the structure's defenses. Energy shields pulsed rhythmically, patrol drones circled in predictable patterns, and automated turrets scanned the area continuously. Yet humans had an advantage that no machine could fully anticipate: creativity and adaptability. Elias knew that a single mistake could spell disaster, but he also knew that humans excelled under pressure. Dr. Liana Tors examined alien scans from their approach, her brow furrowed in concentration. The fortress is designed to isolate its prisoners completely. Every corridor, every chamber, every observation point is built to prevent escape, she said. But there are gaps, small weaknesses in their pattern. If we use them wisely, we can get in without detection. We can exploit that, he said, but it will require absolute synchronization. Any deviation could trigger an alarm that no human skill can undo. They do not understand our ability to cooperate, to improvise, or to act morally and strategically at the same time. That is our edge. The barrier's surface shimmered like molten metal, capable of frying any ship that attempted to pass through it. The human fleet slowed, waiting for the precise moment to act. Dr. Tors studied the energy signature. There's a cycle, she said, a brief fluctuation every 90 seconds. It's small, but enough for a ship to slip through if we time it perfectly. Remember, one ship at a time, follow the path and trust the calculations. Inside the fortress, the alien queen sat in her cell, her mind restless. Though confined and her powers suppressed, she sensed the approach of foreign minds, bright and persistent. Something about them felt different. They were not conquerors, nor thieves, nor destroyers. They were intelligent, coordinated, and determined to act for the right reasons. She could not see them directly, but she felt their presence, and hope flickered within her. The human fleet split into smaller teams for infiltration. Elias led the pilot team, navigating corridors and tunnels that twisted in ways that defied conventional geometry. The AI systems projected real-time holographic maps, highlighting patrol patterns, security gaps, and environmental hazards. Dr. Tors guided them, explaining the physiology of the Draxian guards and their behavioral patterns, helping the team anticipate movements and avoid detection. Kian managed the AI drones, sending them ahead to disable sensors and create distractions. Tiny, nimble machines darted through the fortress like insects, opening doors, looping cameras, and briefly disabling turrets. Every action was carefully timed and synchronized, the result of hours of preparation and real-time adaptation. Mara followed closely, communicating with the team through encrypted channels. Remember, we are not just moving through space. We are moving through an environment that is designed to anticipate and counter human behavior. Stay alert. Trust each other. And remember, the Queen is counting on us. One moment, a pilot would slip through a ventilation shaft. The next, a scientist would hack a door control to create a hidden passage. Hours passed, and the teams moved closer to the Queen's cell. Along the way, they encountered alien life forms that had been confined or experimented upon by the Draxians. Many were frightened, defensive, or confused. Dr. Tor's presence proved invaluable. She used her understanding of alien behavior to calm these creatures, avoiding unnecessary conflict and sometimes gaining allies in unexpected ways. Captain Ward led his team into a wide chamber filled with pulsating energy conduits. The AI drones signaled the presence of a patrol squad approaching from the opposite side. Ilias' hands moved swiftly, adjusting thrusters, guiding his team into shadowed alcoves, and timing their movements to coincide with the patrol's path. Every step required patience, precision, and trust in both technology and human instinct. Dr. Tors whispered instructions, noting weaknesses in the patrol formation. They move as a pattern, but they can be predicted. Follow the gaps, stay low, and do not engage unless absolutely necessary. He had been monitoring the fortress for anomalies and now realized intruders were inside. "Humans," he said, his voice amplified through the corridor, "you dare enter my fortress. Stand aside, or we will have no choice but to act." A brief skirmish erupted, but the humans relied on evasion rather than direct confrontation. Every move was precise, every distraction carefully calculated. The Overlord, though powerful, could not predict human ingenuity in full. Meanwhile, in her cell, the Queen felt the presence of the humans. Though she could not break the psychic suppression field fully, she reached out subtly, guiding them through mental hints, showing paths, doors, and weak points they could exploit. The humans, sensing these subtle cues, adjusted their movements and avoided patrols and traps. It was a delicate dance, a collaboration across species and abilities, united by a single purpose: freedom. Finally, they reached the Queen's cell. The suppression field glimmered with energy designed to nullify her powers. Captain Ward studied it, then nodded to Dr. Tors and Kian. "We've prepared for this. Let's combine what we know." It won't be long, but it will be enough for her to break free. As the field diminished, the Queen projected a mental message. "Trust them. They are here for you. They will not fail." Elias whispered, "We're ready, now." The AI systems adjusted, the corridors unlocked, and the path to escape became clear. The Overlord, realizing the humans had reached the Queen, roared in fury. "You cannot leave." The fortress had been formidable, but it had not accounted for the ingenuity of humans united for a righteous purpose. As they advanced, the Queen whispered instructions, pointing out hidden paths, disabled turrets, and patrol schedules. The humans followed, every action precise, every decision deliberate. The fortress was formidable, but together they were unstoppable. And somewhere deep within the heart of the Draxian stronghold, the Overlord realized that no amount of power could match determination, intelligence, and unity when combined. The infiltration was far from over, but the first stage had succeeded. Humans had entered the heart of enemy territory, reached the Queen, and proven that ingenuity, courage, and collaboration were more potent than any fortress or weapon. The mission had reached a pivotal moment, and the true test of endurance, strategy, and hope awaited them. In the darkness of the fortress, the Queen smiled. Humanity had arrived, and the promise of freedom was finally within reach. The corridors of the Draxian fortress seemed endless, twisting like the veins of some massive, cold organism. Each step the humans took was measured, deliberate, and synchronized. Behind them, alarms began to echo faintly, distant but growing louder. The Draxian overlord had realized the humans had reached the Queen, and the fortress itself was beginning to react. Defense mechanisms, previously dormant, activated with sudden intensity. Doors sealed automatically, energy barriers hummed into life, and patrol drones accelerated in all directions. Time was slipping away faster than they had anticipated. Captain Elias Ward led the group with unwavering focus. His hands were steady on the controls, guiding them through narrow maintenance tunnels that would take them away from the main corridors. "Keep moving," he ordered. "Follow the Queen's guidance. We can do this, but we must stay calm and precise." Liana Torres kept close to the Queen, monitoring her condition and the weakening energy suppression field. "We've only got a small window," she said. "If we delay, the alarms will fully trigger. The Draxians will converge on us in minutes." She subtly projected directions to the humans, indicating paths less guarded, weak points in the walls, and opportunities to avoid detection. Her knowledge of the fortress was unmatched, and the humans relied on her guidance as much as their own skills. Kian Patel worked furiously at the AI interface, coordinating drones to disrupt security systems, disable cameras, and create temporary diversions. The drones darted through the corridors like swarms of mechanical insects, manipulating doors, energy flows, and even minor defense turrets. Each adjustment allowed the humans to slip further into the fortress, deeper into freedom. Mara Chen remained a calm anchor for the team, her voice steady in their communication channels. "Stay focused. We are close. Every movement counts. Remember, they expect force, but we are using strategy. That is our strength." They were heavily armored, their movements precise and synchronized, weapons ready to neutralize any threat. Elias adjusted the trajectory of his ship slightly, signaling the others to use the maintenance shafts above. The team split temporarily, moving silently and quickly through narrow passages, avoiding confrontation. "Doctor." Torres paused to calm a small alien creature that had been trapped in the shaft. It hissed and bared sharp teeth, frightened by the chaos around it. "It's okay," she whispered, using her understanding of alien biology to soothe it. "We're helping you, trust us." The creature hesitated, then moved aside, allowing the humans to pass safely. They emerged on the other side into a large hangar filled with storage ships and cargo vessels. The humans needed to move quickly, but had no direct path to escape. Kian scanned the area, calculating a route that would minimize exposure. "We'll have to use these ships as cover," he said. "I can adjust their AI systems to create temporary blind spots in the Draxian sensors." We moved fast and synchronized. Even in her weakened state, she radiated authority and strategy, helping them anticipate Draxian movements before they happened. A sudden tremor shook the hangar. The Overlord himself had arrived, flanked by elite guards and massive defense drones. His presence was imposing, and his voice echoed across the hangar. "You cannot escape," he shouted. "Your efforts are meaningless. Surrender now, and perhaps I will spare you." The humans moved like shadows, slipping past the confusion and chaos. One of the patrol drones detected movement near Kian. He reacted instantly, deploying a microhack through the AI interface, causing the drone to spiral out of control and crash into a storage container. The sound echoed through the hangar, but the humans had already moved beyond its reach. As they advanced, the Queen reached the temporary limits of her suppressed power. She could not directly fight, but she could guide. Her projections highlighted weak points in the hangar's energy barriers, showing the humans where to push, where to slide, and where to leap. The humans followed her guidance, weaving through corridors, over crates, and past turrets with calculated precision. "Doctor." Torres noticed signs of structural weakness in the hangar walls. "If we can use this," she whispered, "we can create a shortcut to the docking bays. It will be risky, but it's faster than following the main corridor." The walls creaked and vibrated as they forced their way through, but they emerged into a hidden docking bay filled with small vessels. The ships were old but functional. Kian immediately interfaced with the control systems, bringing them online and preparing them for rapid departure. Mara addressed the team. "This is it. Get the Queen on board and follow the escape path exactly." Timing is everything. Energy barriers flared, cutting off obvious escape routes. The humans hesitated for a split second, then Kian's AI systems initiated a countermeasure, creating temporary gaps in the grid. The ship surged forward, engines igniting, and they shot toward the open void of space. Patrol drones swarmed, energy weapons fired, and alarms blared. Yet the humans moved with calculated precision. Ilias performed daring maneuvers, weaving between fire streams and debris, while the AI drones projected false images to confuse the Draxians. Dr. Tors guided the pilots, pointing out structural weaknesses and alternative routes. Mara kept communication lines open, ensuring every ship followed the plan. The Queen observed their actions, silently guiding the humans. Though she could not intervene directly, her mental projections subtly disrupted the Draxian sensors, allowing the humans to slip past the heaviest defenses. A sudden explosion rocked the rear of the fleet. One of the older ships had been hit, threatening to block the escape path. Without hesitation, Ilias adjusted his trajectory, pushing his vessel closer to the danger. He coordinated with another pilot, creating a shield of energy and momentum that allowed the damaged ship to follow safely. Humanity's ingenuity and teamwork had once again prevailed. They entered a dense asteroid field outside the fortress, a natural barrier that provided cover from the pursuing Draxian forces. Ilias navigated with precision, weaving through the floating rocks, while Kian adjusted AI systems to match the unpredictable patterns of the field. Patrol drones collided with asteroids, while human ships slipped through with ease, guided by skill, intuition, and trust in one another. The Draxian overlord roared in frustration, realizing that his enemies were slipping from his grasp. He had underestimated their creativity, their coordination, and their courage. The humans were not merely escaping. They were demonstrating a form of intelligence and resilience that no fortress, no weapon, no tyranny could fully anticipate. Hours passed as the fleet maneuvered through space. The Queen, finally free from the suppression field, stood on the bridge of the lead ship. Her presence radiated authority, and she began to interface subtly with the AI systems, enhancing their navigation and defense capabilities. She was not just a passenger. She was an ally guiding humans with centuries of knowledge and insight. The fleet approached the edge of the Draxian sector. Behind them, the fortress receded into the distance, alarms still echoing, patrols still searching, but the humans had gained the advantage. They had demonstrated courage, ingenuity, and unity, escaping a trap that would have defeated lesser beings. Captain Ward looked at his team, pride evident in his expression. "We did it," he said quietly. "We've proven that humans can rise to any challenge. This is only the beginning, but it's proof. Proof that courage, intelligence, and cooperation are stronger than fear, tyranny, and brute force. Humanity has shown what we can achieve when we act together. Humans have risen as one, and that is a force more powerful than any weapon." For the first time in centuries, the Queen felt hope, true hope. And humanity, united and strong, had proven itself as a force to be reckoned with in the galaxy. They were not finished. The journey home would be challenging, and new threats awaited. But for now, they had succeeded. They had infiltrated the heart of enemy territory, rescued the Queen, and escaped against impossible odds. Humanity had risen, and the galaxy would never forget it. The vast emptiness of space stretched endlessly before the human fleet, but their course was steady, their purpose unwavering. The Queen, finally free from the suppression field, stood at the bridge of the lead vessel. Her presence radiated authority, wisdom, and calm, a beacon for the humans who had risked everything to rescue her. Behind them, the Draxian fortress shrank into the distance, its alarms still echoing, its patrols unable to stop the escape. But the danger was far from over. A massive Draxian supership, a war machine larger than any vessel the humans had faced, now emerged from hyperspace, blocking their path home. Captain Ilias Ward's jaw tightened as he scanned the massive silhouette. "They've brought out the big guns," he said, his voice calm but firm. "We can't outrun it, we have to outthink it. If we can manipulate those patterns, we can create an opening. Remember, we are not just using technology, we are using intelligence, courage, and creativity. Humanity has always adapted to challenges that seem impossible. This is no different. We can influence their own systems from within, if we act carefully." Captain Ward led the first maneuver, guiding his vessel through a narrow field of debris that would be impossible for the Draxian supership to navigate. The Queen projected her influence subtly, causing the enemy ship's sensors to misread distances and velocities. Patrol drones collided with asteroids, and the massive war machine struggled to track the smaller, faster vessels. Dr. Tors noticed a structural pattern in the Draxian ship. "There's a weak point near the main energy core," she said. "It's heavily shielded, but if we can create a synchronized attack with the Queen's guidance, we can disable its primary weapons. We can use decoys to distract the ship's defenses, and the Queen can guide the energy pulse precisely. Timing is everything." The Queen focused her abilities on subtle guidance, ensuring the energy pulse from the human fleet struck exactly where it needed to. The massive Draxian vessel shuddered as its primary weapons systems failed, leaving it vulnerable and confused. The Overlord's voice rang out across the fleet. "This is impossible. You cannot defeat me." The Queen's influence disrupted internal systems, opening fire control channels and exposing structural weaknesses. Every move was precise, every calculation perfect, and every human action combined with the Queen's guidance to create an unstoppable force. Minutes stretched into tense seconds as the final phase of the plan unfolded. The supership, massive and imposing, could not respond effectively to the speed, ingenuity, and unity of the human fleet. Systems overloaded, weapons misfired, and finally the Draxian vessel lost propulsion, drifting helplessly in the void. The Overlord's roar of frustration echoed faintly before fading into silence. Captain Ward allowed himself a brief sigh of relief. "It's over," he said quietly. "The immediate threat is gone. Today we have shown that hope is stronger than oppression. The galaxy will remember this day. Humanity has risen not through domination, but through the example of what is right." Children drew pictures of humans and aliens working together, teachers held lessons on courage and unity, and communities came together in a shared sense of hope. Humanity had proven, in the vast arena of the galaxy, that they could act decisively, morally, and intelligently. As the fleet approached Earth, the Queen addressed Captain Ward and his team personally. "You have shown what it means to be human," she said. "Your courage, creativity, and unity have saved lives, protected civilizations, and restored hope where there was despair. I will speak of you to the stars, and the galaxy will remember your names." Humanity rises when it is needed, and today was one of those times. We hope to continue proving ourselves worthy, not just to the galaxy, but to ourselves. Humanity has taken its first steps into a larger universe, and we are ready. The Queen addressed her people via interstellar transmission, praising humanity for their actions. "The humans have shown courage, intelligence, and morality beyond what we could have expected. They have saved me, prevented further conflict, and demonstrated that life and knowledge are worth protecting. Let the galaxy remember, humans are not only strong but wise, compassionate, and capable of rising to any challenge." Many factions who had remained loyal to tyranny saw the power of collaboration and morality, realizing that oppression and fear could never withstand intelligence united with heart. Slowly, whispers of peace began to spread, aided by the Queen's diplomacy and the humans' example. Back on Earth, the fleet docked safely. Humanity had returned victorious, not with conquest, but with proof of their capacity for courage, wisdom, and unity. Streets filled with celebrations, but the pride was quiet and dignified. The people understood that true victory was not in weapons or power, but in the strength to act wisely, to cooperate, and to rise to challenges that seemed insurmountable. The heroes who had risked everything, Elias, Liana, Kian, and Mara, were hailed as symbols of what humanity could achieve. Their story was shared around the globe, inspiring future generations to think, act, and unite. Humanity had risen as one, and the galaxy had taken notice. The Queen, finally free, addressed the humans personally before returning to her civilization. "You have proven that humanity is a force for good," she said. "Your courage, intelligence, and compassion have changed the course of history. Remember this, it is not power alone that shapes the galaxy, but heart, unity, and wisdom. Humans rise as one always." The universe was vast, full of challenges and opportunities, and humanity had taken its first true steps into the wider galaxy. They had proven their strength, not through domination, but through courage, ingenuity, and unity. And in the hearts of every human watching the stars, there was hope. Hope that they could rise to every challenge, face every danger, and act always with intelligence, morality, and courage. Humanity had earned its place among the stars, and the galaxy would never forget the day when humans rose as one to save a queen, defeat impossible odds, and show what it truly meant to be human.